So, I want to take a minute to look at some multiple choice strategies. Really, the process of elimination is super important. Okay. And you can use the knowledge that you have to make those eliminations. So then you're left with some good choices. This is very important on the ACT, on the AP exam, any type of standardized testing. So I'm going to go over a few things and take some notes. You will provide those notes for your work today. Okay, so you couldn't really read this first one. The branch is listed in Article 3. This branch is listed in Article 3 of the Constitution and is responsible for interpreting the laws. Here's the thing. You've got to put in your brain that legislative make laws, judicial interprets laws, executive enforces laws. Like that if you need to write that a bunch of times, do that on your paper right now. Okay. If you do not know that, because that's something that you have to put in your brain. Okay. So there's really no way to, you have to think about the court and how they issue verdicts. It's usually a lot of paperwork, and they all render, opinion. Okay. So just think of it that way. They have to interpret. Okay. This branch is listed in the Article of Constitution responsible for enforcing laws. Okay. So this is once again something you've got to remember. Okay. This court case established judicial review. You have to think about midnight judges. Marbury, Madison, midnight judges. All 3 M's will get you the answer to judicial review. And remember, judicial review is basically interpretation of the Constitution. The fact that they declare things constitutional or unconstitutional, that is their job. This court case establishes that. Okay? Louisiana Purchase is significant to the United States because it nearly doubled the size of the country. Okay, yeah, I think we can, think so. B, help the United States challenge British power in North America. We didn't buy the Louisiana Purchase from the British, so that can't be right. C, took New Orleans out of Spain's control. Was it Spanish? Can't be that. Set a precedent regarding the purchase of territory without congressional approval. Setting a precedent means it will stick. Remember, Jefferson is going to be given a lot of grief about the fact that he procured this land unconstitutionally. Okay? He's going to be given a lot of grief over it. So you're left with A. That's your best answer. Even before Louisiana was to be purchased, Jefferson persuaded Congress to fund a scientific exploration of the Trans-Mississippi West to be led by. Okay? John Marshall and William Marbury, those are Supreme Court justices. William Clark and Meriwether Lewis, don't really know who those are if you don't know. And then Aaron Burr and James Madison. Well, Aaron Burr was the guy that shot Hamilton, and James Madison was the president. Did they go explore the Louisiana the area? No. So what are you left with? B. And see how you got that answer even if you didn't know it was Lewis and Clark. Okay? Because you know it's not A and you know it's not C. That's elimination. During Washington's term in office, 2 political parties developed. What were the 2 original political parties? Democrat and Republicans. Those are today. So no, they weren't there. You know that. Democratic Republicans. Oh, I think that's right. And the Green Party. You can think, was there ever a Green Party? No, they're trying to get you right there because you got to read the second part. C, Democratic, Republicans, and Federalists. I think that's right. Maybe. And then D, Alabama fans and Auburn fans. That isn't it. So what are you left with? C, even if you don't know for sure if that's the answer, that you still get the correct answer. Okay. Alexander Hamilton believed that the nation's Revolutionary War debts should be assumed by the federal government. Remember, that was his whole point in that. He wanted America to become like this nation that is known that pays their debts. So he doesn't want to trust all the individual people to pay their debts. So he wants to take it, and the states to pay it. He wants to take it on himself. Issue bonds and to fund the debt. Must get money to pay for A. Right? You got to get money. So bonds, that's the way to get money. Raise a new tax on whiskey to pay the debt. Surely you remember talking about the Whiskey Rebellion. So you know that happened. So all of these happened. So now that's not really an elimination because you didn't eliminate anything. But you came to the conclusion that it's D. Okay? Who led the Continental Army during the Revolutionary War? It's one of those things that I would think you would know. But, never know. You know it can't be B, King George. A, Cornwallis. I mean, maybe. You may not even know who that is. C, the Attorney General. That's an office. That's not a person. They don't lead an army. And then you got D, General Washington. Well, I mean, you should know that, but if you don't, at least you have a 50-50 chance. You've got A or D to get it right. Which Patriot battle convinced the French to support the American cause? You've got Saratoga, Charlestown. I don't think much happened there. Okay, I don't remember the French. The Midnight Ride of Paul Revere was at the very beginning. And Gettysburg was in the Civil War. So I've marked out C and D. Worst case scenario, you're picking between A and B. But you've really got more than a 50-50 chance because if you listened at all, you kind of remember, I wrote Saratoga. Now, you may not remember what you wrote it about, being the turning point when the French start to support, but you've still got a better chance, okay? What treaty officially ended the Revolutionary War? Treaty of Paris, 1783. Maybe. There was no treaty. Well, I know that's not right. There was a treaty. I remember that. C, it never ended. Yeah, it did. We got our independence. We're not British. That can't be right. Treaty of Washington, D.C. Did that even exist? No. So it's got to be A. Plus, it goes on to give you a date. And if they all don't give you dates, then more than likely the one with the date is probably correct. Okay? Which constitutional plan written by William Patterson wanted the legislature to have one house and one for each state, and for each state to have equal representation? So which plan written by Patterson, which you may not know who that is, wanted the legislature to have one house and for each state to have equal representation. Equal representation. So it's not based on population. So A, Virginia plan. That was the big plan. Remember, Virginia was the big state. So they want it based on population because they get more power. Connecticut plan. Well, I don't know. Who knows? C, New Jersey plan. That's a small state. D, Great Compromise. They try to trick you here because the Great Compromise is what the content that you're talking about. But what does it ask for in the question? Right here, it asks for a plan. So it can't be D because it's not asking for, it's asking for a plan, and this is a compromise. So then if you really don't know, you're stuck with B and C. You got a 50-50 chance, okay? But New Jersey, remember, is super small, okay? So it's got to be C. What were the opponents of the new Constitution called? Loyalists for the Brits. Remember? Opponents of the Constitution. Why are we talking about loyalty to the British? Anti-Federalist. Against. I'm going to leave that one open. Federalist. Remember the Federalist Papers and their writing to convince people of the Constitution. Okay? Anti-loyalist. That's anti-British. Why are we talking about the British again? It can't be that. You're talking about the Constitution. So you've got B or C, and one of them says anti. And this is opponent. Opponent. That's someone you're fighting. Like when you're playing a basketball game, your opponent is the other team. So they are fighting to win the game. Okay? So anti. Got to go with that. So now, I hope you have taken some notes. If you have, now I want you to tell me, and this has to be on your paper for you to get credit because it's the end of the video. And guess what? I'm trying to see if you watched it to make sure that you watched it because y'all know you love me. Tell me I'm trying to think. I've come up with so many questions. Tell me your middle name. Just put it at the bottom of the paper so I know that you watched till the end. And hopefully this helps. I will upload this PDF, okay, to the Google Classroom. I do have some stuff written on all of the questions that will be on your assessment next week.